Yeah, so thanks, Anna, for being with us. It's great also to have some international speakers at our little camp afternoon. And I don't do a long introduction, but those of you who know me also know that many years ago, I started with something called Scrum. In the meantime, I'm a Kanban trainer as well, and I still like Scrum, but for Kanban for me opened a whole new universe. And more surprisingly, inside Kanban, there's again a new universe. So David Anderson is not only doing what we know as core Kanban, but also things like enterprise service planning and what we're going to learn a lot about today, fit for purpose, together with some awesome colleagues from the Kanban community. And Anna will shed some light on how to discover customer needs with this framework. Anna, the stage is yours. Welcome online, but also in Leipzig.
Thank you very much. So let me first share my screen and then I will start talking. Okay, I hope everyone can see it. Thanks, Rolf. First of all, thanks for invitation and that I can be here. I really hope one day to see all of you live and to drink beer with you. Today we can only have virtual beer, but let's see what time will bring to us. As Rolf said, my name's Anna. I'm working for Mauvius Group, and Mauvius Group is a family for Kanban University, David J. Anderson School of Management, and also Movisoft. So if you see any products from any of these sources, this is just us. And today I'll be representative of David J. Anderson School of Management, and I will tell you a bit about fit for purpose framework. So yes, even if I come from the Kanban world, today we are not going to talk about Kanban. Today we'll be talking about fit for purpose. And fit for purpose is a framework. I will talk about it in a moment, so where it comes from. But this is the framework which helps you to really understand what your customer wants. And if you ever ask the question, like, how do you know how your customers select you, your products, your services? How do you know whether a change to a product or service is an improvement? And how do you select new features, functions, and classes of services? These are the main questions that a fit for purpose framework answers to. And I will just give you a few hints about this framework. We don't have time to really go deeply into this topic, but I hope that I will keep you encouraged and curious about it, and you will want to learn more. So just a few more words about what I'm going to show you, because this is the essence of our brand, the essence of Kanban University, David J. Anderson School of Management, Mauvius Group. Is everything what we are presenting to you and everything what we are preparing is pragmatic, actionable, and evidence-based. Pragmatic and actionable because we really want you to take at least one small piece of what we are telling, what we are showing to you, and start to use it from the next day. So maybe not from Saturday, but at least from Monday. So I hope that in all this half an hour presentation, you will find something what you will be able to apply and which make your life better. And this is also evidence-based. So I'm not presenting to you any theories. None of us is sitting and, figuring out, maybe it will be a nice theory to write about. Everything what we are showing to you is based on the evidence and is based on experience of many people around the world who do it for many years already. And this particular part of knowledge was introduced by David J. Anderson and Alexei Zhekov. But before we start, this is the first moment when I wanted you to answer one question. So for yourself, please write down up to 3 reasons. So 1, 2, or 3 reasons or objectives you had coming here. So this is as simple as that. Why are you here? So I don't know, you may be curious about the fit for purpose. You may have no idea what to do with your afternoon. Maybe you just like Rolf and you want to attend agiLE Barcamp. So please write down somewhere for yourself up to 3 objectives or reasons why you are here. And let's spend 1 minute on it. We'll be using it later. So it's not theory only. I can see that you will share your reasons here. This is okay. Later, after the presentation and after this meeting, I would love to see your reasons and the follow-up, which we'll do in half an hour or less. Okay, so maybe let's continue. Of course, you can do it also during me talking. So the agenda for today, I will first focus on the key elements of successful product, the 3 key elements. And then we'll talk very shortly about how to segment the customers and how to learn about customers' why and how to use 2 methods to learn your customers' why, the most important for us. And as I said, the Fitness for Purpose framework is described in a book, Fit for Purpose, which was written in 2017 by David Anderson and Alexei Zheglov. And we also teach this method during our classes. So you can attend Fit for Purpose class to learn more. Today I'm going to talk about it probably 20 minutes, so you can learn about Fit for Purpose framework for 4 days. So let's start from 3 components of Fitness for Purpose. So what I'll be presenting to you also are the elements of the poster, Fit for Purpose poster, which you can download for free and you can enjoy this nice colorful poster. So we'll start with Fitness for Purpose, and there are 3 elements of Fitness for Purpose: design, implementation, and service delivery. Design answers the question what. So when we think about our product or service, which is preparing and delivering pizza, design is the recipe. So what our pizza is about. Is it margherita, quattro formaggi, whatever you like. Then the second element is implementation, so the how you make your recipe live. So what ingredients you take and how you make the pizza out of these ingredients, how long do you bake it, how you prepare your pizza. So how you implement the design. And finally, the third component is service delivery. So this is your customer's experience of consumption. And this is the customer who determines the Fitness for Purpose based on the needs and the expectations of this customer. And meet Nita. Nita is our model customer ordering pizza. And Nita is a project manager and pizza buyer. And her team are working for long time in the evenings for the whole week to make a deployment. And on Friday evening, when they are finally finishing the product to deploy it, to deliver it, Nita decided to order a pizza for her team. And these are the requirements, these are the needs of Nita and her team. And to meet these requirements and to order this product, Nita decided to place an order in Zach's Pie and Crust. And here are this is the specification of her order. So delivery time in Zach's Pie and Crust is 1 hour plus minus 30 minutes, so somewhere between 30 and 90 minutes. Non-functional quality is that they have really fancy recipes, and the pizza they deliver is tasting hot. And from the functional quality perspectives, they sometimes make some small mistakes. So when Anita orders, say, 15 products, she's okay to accept the small mistakes unless they deliver her one veggie pizza and one gluten-free pizza. So if she doesn't receive veggie and gluten-free pizza, she will not be satisfied. But if she receives, I don't know, 2 pizzas with salami instead of 1 salami and 1 with ham, she will be okay. And finally, the restaurant is compliant with government food preparation, health and safety regulations, so Nita doesn't need to think about it. So she ordered the pizzas for her team. The pizzas were delivered with some small mistakes, but it was okay for her and her team. And after the deployment, she came back home, and we realized that Nita is also a working mother. So not only product manager, but also a working mother. And her 2 children are waiting for her with her nanny, and nanny didn't prepare any healthy meal for them. She just gave them snacks. So this is Friday evening. Everyone is hungry. Everyone is a bit stressed and tired. And Rita simply doesn't have ingredients to prepare any meal for her children, and she also doesn't have time to do it because her children are already hungry. So what she decided to do, she decided to order pizza for them. And this time, Nita doesn't order from Zack's Pie and Crust, she orders from West Side Pizza. Why? Because the delivery time is the most important right now. So it has to be 20 minutes and no minute longer because her children are very impatient. And from the functional quality perspective, it must be cheese pizza. So actually, the requirements are not very sophisticated. If it's cheese pizza and if it's delivered in 20 minutes, they will be happy. And non-functional quality doesn't have to be fancy recipe. It doesn't have to be super hot, super fancy. It just needs to be cheese pizza delivered in 20 minutes. And when we compare these 2 orders, we see that we have one Nita. So from demographic perspective, this is one and the same person. But defining the purpose of her ordering a pizza, she represents 2 different market segments. So she represents a market segment of project managers ordering food for their coworkers. And also she represents the second market segment, who is a working mother ordering pizza for her family. And we can see that design, implementation, and service delivery in both of these cases are completely different. So design for Nita, product manager, needs to be fancy, implementation needs to be perfect, but service delivery, she accepts some small mistakes. When she orders pizza for her children, design is not that important, implementation, mediocre. If it's delivered more or less warm and in 20 minutes, it's okay. And then service delivery has to be excellent because children are waiting with their timers and waiting for pizza. So when these 2 sets of requirements in terms of design, implementation, and service delivery are met, we say that product and service is fit for purpose. And now I started to talk about segmenting the market. So you can see that Nita represents 2 different market segments, and to be able to design our product for market segments, we can use something what is called persona. And persona is a description of archetypal representative of a market, audience, product, or service user segment. And now translating to the normal language. We have one Nita who is 30 plus, she has 2 children, she's working as project manager, and she's also ordering pizza. So from demographic perspective, this is one and the same person. From market purpose perspective and market segmentation perspective, she represents 2 different personas. So we can imagine that if someone else, not Nita, say a developer from her team, decides to place an order, the requirements will be exactly the same. So this time, from demographic perspective, it may be completely different person. So it may be a man, he may be 20 plus and having no children, living somewhere in the city center. But from the market perspective, so from the persona perspective, this is the same persona. So the persona ordering pizza for the team of developers. And how to start with personas? So we should remember that we shouldn't divide our market by demographical categories because we had two different nitas actually ordering our product. So we try to identify these market segments, and we do it by customer purpose. So we create personas for pizza buyers, not for women, men living in the city center, living in the suburbs. It doesn't matter that much. These personas should reflect goal, purpose, and objective of a pizza buyer. And we design this product, we design this service for just one persona, but it should help us to cover every single person who falls in this category of this persona. And we can also build narratives which can help us to learn more about this persona and how to build these narratives. Here are some questions that can help you start with. These are the questions that I always ask myself when I start building personas for different products that I delivered or that I'm delivering right now. So there are some demographical questions that you may want to answer, but these are the questions that helps you rather to visualize the person. So when you start to describe persona, you can just take a flip chart or piece of paper and start writing there and describing the real person. So when I was thinking about people who may want to attend the classes that I deliver, I was thinking about people that I really know. So I used their picture. You can also draw the picture of this person on the wall. You can give this person a name, so real name, John, Kate, Frank, whoever you know, and try to describe who this person is. What is she doing? Where does he live? How old is he? How old is she? What does she likes? Then use some scenarios. So describe the rituals of this person. What does the normal day of this persona looks? And finally, what are their pains? So why they choose you? Why they decide to choose your product? Why they decide to choose your service? And except for the pain, what are the benefits of cooperating with you and your company for this person? And having these questions answered, of course, this is not exhaustive list. You can add your own questions, your own answers here. But having this persona described this way helps you to see if there are any gaps in your understanding of the market, or maybe you have already covered everyone, and then you can start to adjust your strategy to cover this persona's needs. And when we already have these personas, and we have started to identify the purpose of each of these personas, you might try to think what this persona representing a group of customers really wants, and how you can learn what are the fitness criteria of this persona. And to do this, I will show you two methods. Of course, there are more, but these two are the most useful, I believe, and the easiest to start with. So knowing your customers' why. To know your customers' why, we start with two ways. One is flying visually. So for this, you use humans and narratives. And the second is flying by instruments. So for this, we use surveys and data. And when we think about flying visually, so using humans and narratives, this is the moment when we listen to our customers. So in terms of Nita, this is a pizza boy. who knows her story. So the person who delivers pizza to her as a project manager, who delivers pizza to her as a working mother. And it can be also a person who takes the order over the phone. So these are people who are our frontline staff normally. So people who talk, and by talk I understand really talking to your customers. Sometimes this discussion, this conversation can be longer. Sometimes it may be shorter, but you may have a chance to. They may have a chance to observe where the customer lives, what is her neighborhood, what time this customer orders, place an order, and for whom, how big is the family. So these are some of the questions that you may want your frontline staff to ask. And this is important that you train your frontline staff to learn what matters to your customers. And it's important that time to time you do kind of a meeting summary. It can be also written down that these people from the frontline staff are really able to tell you what they observe, and they are able to tell you what they heard. And what's the most difficult in today's times is that sometimes these frontline people are the ones who whose retention is very high. So you have people who work like half a year in the call center, for example, and then they rotate. So you don't lose only their experience, but you also lose the stories the customer shared with them. There is also another method which may be archived and stored a bit better. So do you remember the question we started with? And the question was, why are you here? This question is the first question from something what we called fit for purpose card. And this is the example of fit for purpose card. And this is a very short and very simple card, and for a reason we don't call it survey, because people don't like surveys. So we ask people to fill in fit for purpose card, not fit for purpose survey. So the first question is, this is actually the question I asked you. So why are you here? Tell us why you chose our offering, why you decided to come to us. And this is the question that people normally fill in before they start to consume the service. And I will tell you why in a moment. Then the second question we ask after the service and product was consumed is, for each of the reasons or objectives from question 1, give us a score from 0 to 5, where 0 is I found nothing useful and it was unfit for purpose, and score 5 is that my expectations were exceeded. And then finally we ask in question 3, tell us why you gave the score 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the question 2. So the question 3 is a place for narrative. This is where we would like to hear, this is where we would like to see people's stories. And here's the scoring which we use. So 5 and 4, where 5 is product exceeded my expectations, 4 product matched my expectations, we treat this score as positive. Then 3 is neutral, and 3 says product matched most of my expectations with some reservations. And negative 0, 1, 2, it means that we either didn't meet any of expectations of the customer, or some significant amounts of expectations were unmet. And what we have discovered over a few years of using this card is that we may have a situation where net fitness score is the same number, but we have very different answers. So you can see situation 1, when you have 50% positive, 50% negative, net fitness score is 0. In situation 2, we have 0 positive and negative, but 100% neutral answers, and net fitness score is again 0. That's why we never use net fitness score, but we always use triple, because these two situations call for very, very different actions. So this is how we show the answers. We always use free set of percentages. So 74% of positive answers, like here, 23% of neutral, 3% of negative answers. And this way we can see if there is, if we really need to improve, or maybe the number of negative or neutral answers is very low. And based on this triple answer, we can take very specific actions. So always use a triple and don't aggregate. Just to summarize what's on the card, 3 questions. First question, what was your purpose coming here? Second question, assess fitness for that purpose using taxonomy. And third question, tell us why. So use some narratives. And here is how you can identify and how you can interpret it, your answers. So this is the example from our training business. First, we segment our customers by purpose. So again, not by demographic, but by purpose. And here's the example of 4 segments. First segment are pragmatic managers. Second segment, professional developers. Third segment is certification. And fourth segment, office politics. And how to read these answers? You have plus, 0, minus, and hashtag. Hashtag tells you how many purposes were assigned to this particular segment. So we had here 18 people who are pragmatic managers, 11 people professional developers, etc., etc. And then you have this triple that I showed a moment ago. So in the first, for the first segment, you had 94% positive answers, 6% of neutral answers, no negative answers. But when you look at the segment number 4, office politics, you have 20% positive answers, 60% neutral, 20% negative answers. And this way you can see that there should be completely different sets of actions taken for these different groups of customer purpose and market segments. And also based on what product and service we deliver, we identified that the first segment, so pragmatic managers, is our strategic and target segment. Second and third, so professional developers, certifications, this is the secondary segment. And the fourth one is not our target segment. And how did we really came to this answer? We use something what's called box score, fit for purpose box score, where you put any of these segments into the score, which tells you what you really should do. So if your fitness level is satisfactory and this is your market segment, you should protect, encourage, and grow this market segment. Then if you see that these people are your target, but fitness level is not that perfectly met yet, you may look for improvements. If you have a satisfactory result, but this is not your target segment, you may think about moving this segment to your target. And in the rest of the cases, you should rather think about switching off this market segment to not overserve people for whom you don't sell your products. And this is how you place your market segments in this box score. In this box score to know what you should really do with them. And to summarize some tangible and some intangible benefits of Fit for Purpose card. So in terms of tangible benefits, you don't ask people about recommending class to your teammates, to their colleagues. You don't ask them about the future. So you only ask about their experience. You only ask about what they have seen already. A customer can choose out of 6 levels, and each of these levels is clearly defined. And these 6 levels are psychologically optimal for people to give a meaningful answer. So having more than 6, like in some of the surveys you have from 0 to 10, it is difficult for people to decide what 0 means, what 10 means. When you have 6 levels and each of them is described, it's easier to choose. And finally, question number 3 is the place where you can listen to your customer stories. And you may see that you have discovered some additional market segments that you didn't envisage previously. In terms of intangible benefits of this card, people seem to be more honest. For example, for me as a trainer, I don't ask them to judge me. I don't ask people to tell me, how did you like the trainer from 0 to 5? No, I rather ask about their experience and about their needs. So people seem to be more honest in giving their answers. And even if you receive the card with no rating or only with rating, looking at the customer purpose, you are already able to tell, did you meet these needs or not? People also tend to comment much more likely than in the classical surveys. And even if you give 0 or 1, you just don't feel bad, because as I said, you don't judge the person, you just judge, you give the score for your fitness criteria, for your purpose. If I, as a trainer, as a speaker, as a product manager, I didn't meet your purpose, this is also very valuable information for me delivering the service. And right now, to finalize this whole presentation, could you please look back to your purposes you have described at the beginning, and please give the score from 0 to 5 to your purposes. And if you find a moment to share them with me or with event organizers, it would be really nice to see the results and also your feedback. Because, even these events, I believe I can speak on behalf of Rolf, but definitely I can speak on behalf of myself. Preparing for these events is preparing for you. So I don't want to deliver something what doesn't meet your criteria and your purpose. So I treat every opportunity like this to improve. So let's spend 1 more minute on this. And then also please use the chat if you have any questions to me. Okay, so I will start answering the questions. So the first one is from Marcus. Does Fit for Purpose also work to target customer groups that never bought or use my product? Unfortunately not. So this is the topic that I didn't touch, but you can find more description in the book or in the classes. So there are some blind spots, and we are aware of them. And this is one of the blind spots, unfortunately. So actually, using narratives and using this card, you can only check the people who really bought something from you or who came to you. So people who didn't buy from you is a blind spot in terms of Fit for Purpose framework. And right now, the framework doesn't cover these people. But I know that David and Alexei are working also on these blind spots, and they already have some answers to it. This is just not yet published, but next year we can definitely expect some extension to Fit for Purpose framework and also covering these blind spots. The second question was from Kerstin. How do you get started if the service is to be developed and doesn't exist yet? Not only for Fit for Purpose, but also for anything else. And this is the question that I always see when we talk about metrics. So if you have a new product, like a product that you have never worked on before, the question is, are you able to find any historical data that would be useful for you. So the first where I look for it is my own company and my own experience. Did I ever do anything similar, and can I use this knowledge to start with? And then, of course, it has to be verified. If not, you can look outside your company, some existing surveys, and you can, if you want, you can try to buy these results, because normally they are available, or you can just Google for them. And yeah, as Marcel here advises also, I would say the same. Look for some similar products from other companies, how they are doing right now. Of course, they don't share information about the sale. They don't share marketing information, but at least you can have some hints from them. So look for any kind of data, your internal data or external information that you can use to start building your product. And as I said, of course, each of these data has to be verified. Any assumption, any hypothesis needs to be verified. Is there something like fit for purpose before people invest effort in building a solution? I think that somehow I already answered this question. I'm not sure if there is anything else. So yes, there is anything else actually. Sorry, but let me think how to answer it shortly. Because you asked the question that I normally answer over 4 days of classes. So I will try to keep it short. So yes, there are some methods, and not only you should, but you have to use them. One of these methods is market research, as I mentioned, but this is the whole idea about ideation and trying to understand the customer needs before we invest too much in building the product. And I think, give me a moment. I need to scroll up for. Yes, Alexander, you have somehow also answered to yourself. I think about DT situation and pivoting situation like double diamond. Yes, double diamond is one of the methods that you can use to do it. Anything what we do in the whole area, I promise not to talk about Kanban, but this is the moment. So in the area of upstream Kanban, so discovery Kanban, this is a place where we work on ideation, where we work on the pool of ideas, the pool of requirements, working with customers, talking to customers, verifying the needs of customers. This is a place where this discovery happens, and this is the place where you need to balance the investment in discovering idea with a later payoff, and to decide when if you should continue working on it or you should stop working on it. I'm happy to answer this question later because I don't want to take too much time of the others. But Alexander, if you can catch me somewhere on LinkedIn, we can talk about it offline. Can you recommend a platform where fit for purpose is offered as an online service? I am not sure if I understand this question, because if you are looking for fit for purpose card in online version, this is not yet available. This is something what we are working on, and it will be available somewhere next year, but I'm not able to do any commitments today. And I'm not sure, Jörg, did I answer this question? Please write it down. And Kerstin, there is also a lot in the Lean Startup movement. Yes, I agree. Definitely, you can look for some hints there. And so fit for purpose is more in the field of improvement than innovation. Shortly answering yes. Yes, because using fit for purpose and also using the fit for purpose metrics that I didn't talk about today, This is all about improvement. And on one hand, improvement, on the other hand, keeping your company healthy and knowing what your customer really wants. And innovation is something a bit different here. Okay. We have some links from Marcel. Thanks for that. Yeah. Do you have any other questions? Okay, so just to just to summarize, here you have my email address. So please feel free to draw me an email. You can also catch me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, additional questions after this presentation, or anything else comes to your mind and you would like to talk about, feel free. After each class, after each webinar, I offer you free online coffee. Unfortunately, right now, only online coffee. So if you would like to catch up with me and talk more about Fit for Purpose or just anything else, what's related to Kanban, Fit for Purpose, ESP, as Rolf said, feel free to let me know. And I'm really willing to talk to you guys, because what we do for you. Anything we do for you, just citing the song. And also the webpage, fitterforpurpose.com. This is a place where you can download this poster that you can see here, and also some book chapters that are available for free to read. And the book chapters are about fitness criteria, so you can learn more. I didn't talk about them today, so you can download and read. Thank you very much. We'll see soon again one day, maybe this time face to face.